Hi, Kimberly here. So I am doing a mommy vlog, and since I'm doing a mommy vlog, I felt like it's important to just kind of get my story out there, just as to why I feel like I should be doing a mommy vlog, or why I am doing it, and just my life story. So it all begins, obviously, when I was younger. So I'm the youngest of four. I have my oldest is a brother and then two sisters. My dad was in the Navy growing up. So with that being said, we moved from place to place from being in the Navy. And like me and my youngest sister were both born in Virginia. And then we came to Illinois. And in coming to Illinois, my mom and dad's marriage was very rocky, to say the least. But we came here, we stayed with a couple of my mom's family members for a couple nights here and then a couple nights there. Then from there, we stayed somewhere else, which I don't even recollect because I was so small, with another kind of relative, distant relative or family member. And then from there, we stayed with my dad's side of the family. From staying with my dad's side of the family, we ended up leaving. My mom ended up leaving and taking us with her. And we ended up staying at an apartment that was given to us by like a battered woman shelter, essentially. And I don't know how long we stayed there for, but we stayed there for a little bit, and then we ended up having to leave because of my dad knowing where we lived, I guess, essentially. And so they told us that we had to leave. And so then we ended up staying at the YMCA or the YWCA for a little bit too, until I guess, being the young age I was, a little boy or something like that, I don't know. And then we ended up having to leave there, and we ended up staying at the Admiral Hotel, from what my mom told me. And then from there, we ended up moving to an extended stay hotel, which was further out in like the suburbs in Illinois, closer to kind of like a Navy base. And we stayed there for quite a bit until, and that's kind of the one that I remember the most, because I guess I was kind of just getting older. And so we stayed there, and my mom found just like things of like infidelity and so forth with my dad, and kind of had, like a nervous breakdown, I guess you can say. And with that nervous breakdown that she had, she ended up, saying that she was gonna kill her children, that before she lets whoever was in the walls get to her children. And I remember being scared. I remember being on the bed and not being able to move. And my brother ran out, and I remember him looking back and telling us like to run and to go. And we were too scared. Me and my other sisters were too scared to kind of run out and go. And he ended up running down to like the lobby of the extended stay hotel, and being able to like call the police. And so then the police came, and my dad came, and my dad came before. My dad was there before, and my mom threatened to like kill him or something like that. And then he left us with my mom in that kind of, in that mental state that she was in, unstable mental state that she was in. And so we ended up being taken away from our mom, and we were given to our dad. Our mom was then committed. Our dad then sent us off to stay with one of our aunts who lived in a different state. And with that being said, which was the best decision that he could ever have made for us, because he wasn't a dad who could raise children at the time. And my mom ended up being diagnosed with bipolar disorder. And she was having maybe one of her manic episodes or something like that. But with that being said, as soon as she kind of got released, she came and she got us and got a place for us to stay. So when I look back at my story and I just see like women, mothers, how strong they are. My mom was very strong. She was a very strong individual, and I'm so proud to have her as my mother. And she was brave and had a lot of courage, and that kind of is what pushing me to want to tell my story and get my story out there, and just any tips or anything like that people who aren't mothers yet, or who are wanting to become mothers, or even who are aunts, or whatever the case may be. Just different helpful tips about things are great. So with that being said, I do also, that's not just like the end of my story right there. That's kind of like the beginning of my story. And because it's definitely tough to have to go through life not having a father or a father figure in your life. And so I turned to sports, and I played a lot of sports, and I played them aggressive, and I put all my emotion and everything in them. When I play them, I give it my all. And in growing up, I'm not really sure what age exactly that I was. It had to be between the age of probably like 5th, 4th, probably like 4th through maybe like 7th grade, or 4th through 8th grade, in which the kind of capacity of my life kind of changed because of the molestation from a family member that occurred to me multiple times. And it was something that was hard for me to tell my story and be a part of my story, and to tell my mom or to say anything to anyone, because it's such a heavy thing to say and to bring to the table. Nobody wants to hear that, but that's who I am. That's part of what made me so strong and so resilient. And that person is, the crazy thing is I still see that person at family events and so forth. That person's still unstable mentally. But the chaos within my family is kind of like accept chaotic and toxic things. So which explains why I don't really talk to my family anymore. Because I'm at the point where, I'm pregnant with my second son, my second child, and that's not something that I want around my children. I don't want that old way of life of like brushing things underneath the rug, or not addressing things that should be addressed. And so if it doesn't suit you or suit me in any type of way of positivity, or something that you could grow from, even having a conversation with somebody, then it's not worth keeping. It's not worth fighting for. So that's something that I'm starting new and starting over with my family, with my children, is definitely that talking to people if you have an issue with them or if there's something going on or something like that. Definitely not. My family is definitely not like a safe place to do something like that. My extended family is not a safe place to have those conversations or to have those talks. With that being said, that's kind of like my story. And I hope you guys can either relate to it, learn something from it, grow from it, whatever the case may be. But that's me in a nutshell. Until the next video.